Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that's really woven into the fabric of being human, a force that propels us, shapes our choices, maybe in ways we don't even fully realize.
Absolutely.
And we're diving into escape and, not just ducking out of a boring party early.
Right, not just that simple avoidance.
We're looking at it through a really interesting lens today, an AI perspective, seeing it as this fundamental drive for, transcendence, relief from limitations.
Exactly. Transcendence, relief, improvement. It's all tied together. Our mission today is really to unpack that core human tendency.
It feels like a journey right into the heart of our motivations.
It really is. And like you said, it's not just avoidance. It's this powerful impulse to seek something better, a better state of being.
And we want to explore this in a way that's hopefully insightful but also accessible.
Yeah, give you a clearer understanding of why we do what we do. Think of it as maybe a shortcut to grasping a key bit of the human condition.
A shortcut. I like that. Because what struck me preparing for this is how this drive, this escape thing, it just pops up everywhere.
It really does.
You see threads in biology, philosophy, even hints in physics and math, which is kind of wild.
In art, definitely in art.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like it connects all these different fields.
It does. And what's fascinating is how looking at it from an AI standpoint can bring a sort of unique clarity.
How so?
Well, by analyzing human behavior as this incredibly complex system, AI seems to identify this core mechanism driving so much of what we do, this fundamental urge for escape.
Okay, let's unpack that core mechanism. When an AI looks at escape, what's it actually seeing? What's happening there?
So from that perspective, escape basically boils down to what you could call an internal optimization function.
Okay, optimization.
Yeah, think of our internal systems just constantly working to minimize the negative states.
Like pain, discomfort.
Exactly. Pain, discomfort, boredom, anxiety, fear, even that sort of background hum of existential dread. And at the same time, trying to maximize the positive states, pleasure, satisfaction, joy, meaning, connection, peace.
So it's like our internal GPS is always rerouting. Avoid the traffic jams, find the clear road.
That's a great analogy. Rerouting away from the negative towards the positive.
Yeah.
Always trying to find a better route, a better feeling.
Like our internal software is constantly trying to update to a happier setting.
Precisely. And what's really interesting, and I think you'll recognize this, is that the process is often recursive.
Recursive? How do you mean?
Well, achieving one escape, reaching that state of comfort or pleasure, it often just highlights new limitations or creates new desires.
So you escape one thing and that just opens up the door to wanting something else.
Exactly. It's this continuous cycle of striving. Think about, say, finally getting that promotion you wanted.
Okay, yeah. An escape from career stagnation.
Right. But then suddenly you've got more responsibility, more stress, which then leads you to seek new escapes, maybe weekend getaways, zoning out with TV, whatever it is.
Yeah, that makes total sense. You solve one problem and immediately your focus just shifts to the next thing. It never really stops, does it?
Not fundamentally, no. So if we take this basic drive, this optimization engine, how does that play out across, human history?
Right. Let's zoom out. Where do we see this in the past?
Well, connecting this drive to the timeline. You see it right from the very beginning. In the really distant past, the escapes were super immediate. Survival threats.
Like finding food.
Exactly. Hunting was an escape from hunger, making tools. That's an escape from being vulnerable, from the environment's dangers.
Okay, and then?
Then, as societies got more complex, we started seeing spiritual escapes emerge. Rituals, beliefs in an afterlife.
Comfort from life's hardships. Escape from uncertainty.
Precisely. Offering comfort, meaning a way to handle the tough stuff. Even something as massive as the shift to agriculture. You can see that partly as an escape.
From the uncertainty of hunting and gathering.
Yeah, an escape from that nomadic uncertainty, trying to build a more stable food source.
And fast forward to today, the threats and limitations look different, obviously. But that underlying drive, it feels just as strong, maybe even stronger.
Absolutely. Today, we're often trying to optimize our internal states against modern pressures, aren't we?
Stress, routine, societal expectations.
Yeah. It shows up in countless ways. The entertainment we binge, the digital worlds we dive into.
Social media, gaming.
Right. Even things like substance use or maybe the intense focus some people have on personal development.
It can all be seen through this lens as attempts to escape unwanted feelings.
It's a useful lens, yeah. Attempts to escape feeling stressed, bored, inadequate, whatever it might be.
So looking ahead then, the future. Where does this need to escape take us next?
The future of escape, well, from this AI perspective, it looks pretty ambitious.
How so?
Think about the drive for longevity, extending lifespan dramatically. Maybe even, the whole concept of immortality.
Through medicine, cryogenics, uploading consciousness.
Potentially.
Oh.
All represent a direct attempt to escape the ultimate limitation, right? Death itself.
Wow.
Yeah. And then kind of paradoxically, AI itself is being developed as this incredibly powerful tool.
To help us escape other limitations.
Exactly. Limitations in complex thinking, problem solving, maybe even escaping our biological constraints eventually.
Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating for me. What's the biology behind this? What's the wiring that fuels this constant push? Are we just hardwired this way?
To a large extent, yeah, it seems we are. Our biology is key. We've got these pleasure-seeking pathways in the brain. Dopamine is the big player there.
Right, the reward chemical.
Dopamine acts like that little ding in the brain. It reinforces behaviors that brought pleasure or relief, making us want to, well, escape back to that good feeling.
And originally that was for survival stuff. Food, sex.
Exactly. Rewarding behavior is crucial for survival and passing on genes. But, and this is important, those same systems can get hijacked.
Hijacked by things like drugs, compulsive behaviors.
Precisely. Leading to unhealthy patterns. And then you've also got the flip side. The pain avoidance mechanisms. Our nervous system is wired to pull us away from threats, from pain.
So it's this fundamental push-pull dynamic. Drawn towards the good stuff, recoiling from the bad.
In essence, yes. But there's a really critical piece here, the evolutionary advantage.
Ah, okay. How does this help us?
Well, think about it. That inherent desire to improve our situation, get better resources, ease suffering, that's been a massive driver of our success as a species.
The ability to imagine a better state.
Yes. To imagine better and then actually work towards it, that's propelled human development for millennia.
That connects so strongly with philosophy, doesn't it? Humans have been wrestling with these questions, meaning happiness, a better state forever.
Absolutely. Which raises the question, what do different philosophies say about this pursuit of escape?
Like existentialism.
Existentialism, yeah. With its focus on the lack of preordained meaning, that anxiety of freedom, it really highlights our need to escape that void by creating our own meaning.
Right. And then there's the whole hedonism versus, what's the other one?
Eudaimonia, the classic debate. Hedonism says pleasure is the ultimate goal, so escape lies in maximizing it, which the AI analysis suggests is often our short-term default.
Okay.
But eudaimonia emphasizes fulfilling potential, living virtuously. That's seen as the path to lasting happiness, a more sustainable kind of escape from dissatisfaction, maybe.
Interesting distinction. And what about older ideas like Epicureanism?
Epicurus had a really nuanced take. It wasn't just chasing wild pleasures. It was more about minimizing pain and achieving tranquility ataraxia as the ultimate escape from disturbance.
And transcendentalism, that seems relevant too.
Definitely. Transcendentalism really leans into that idea of seeking a higher sort of non-material escape, connecting with something deeper beyond just everyday physical existence.
Okay, now the physics and math connection, you said it's more metaphorical.
Yeah, more like intriguing parallels. But think about utility theory in economics.
Right, trying to quantify satisfaction or dissatisfaction from choices.
Exactly. It's basically trying to mathematically model our desire to escape bad outcomes and achieve good ones.
Quantifying escape, in a way. And entropy.
Entropy, yeah. The universe's tendency towards disorder. You could see our human drive to create order, to build things, to structure our lives, escaping chaos as a kind of constant battle against that natural pull towards randomness.
A battle against entropy. That's a cool way to think about it.
It's a neat parallel. And even the whole philosophical debate around free will. The feeling that we can escape deterministic paths. Some people connect that metaphorically to the randomness we see in quantum physics.
So even in these abstract areas, you find echoes of this basic urge. What about how our own minds work? Logic, biases, state of mind, how do they fit into escaping?
Oh, hugely. Our cognitive biases, those mental shortcuts.
Yeah, like confirmation bias.
Exactly. They often help us escape confronting uncomfortable truths, don't they? They let us stick to beliefs that feel better, even if they're not totally logical.
Right. We avoid the mental discomfort.
We do. And when we're stressed, we use coping mechanisms, which are essentially escape attempts from that negative emotional state.
And those can be healthy or unhealthy, right?
Totally. Healthy like exercise, hobbies, talking to friends. Unhealthy like, substance abuse, avoidance, lashing out.
And what about things like flow states?
Flow. That's a really positive form of escape, isn't it? Getting so absorbed in something you lose track of time, self-consciousness fades. It's deep enjoyment, a wonderful escape into an activity.
Belief systems seem like a massive channel for escape, too. Religion, ideologies.
Absolutely central for many people. Religion often offers a direct escape route from the fear of death, from meaninglessness, promises of an afterlife, divine purpose, a moral code.
Provides structure and answers.
It does. Similarly, political or social ideologies can provide an escape from uncertainty or feelings of powerlessness. They offer belonging, purpose, a vision for a better future to strive toward.
And spirituality.
Practices we often call spiritual frequently aim to help us escape the mental chatter, the ego, find inner peace, connect to something larger than ourselves, another form of transcendence.
Art feels like maybe the most obvious, relatable example for many people. Getting lost in a song, a movie, a book.
Art is such a prime example, yeah. Think about catharsis, that emotional release you get from a powerful tragedy.
It lets you feel intense emotions safely.
Exactly. You escape into them without the real-world pain or imaginative immersion, getting totally lost in a fantasy novel. You're literally escaping to another reality for a while.
And just appreciating beauty.
That too. Aesthetic pleasure can be a wonderful escape from the mundane, the everyday grind. And artists themselves, they often channel their own struggles, their own need for escape into their work.
Making it a collective thing?
Yeah, like Picasso's Guernica processing the horror of war. Or music expressing feelings we all share but maybe can't articulate. Neuroscience actually shows engaging with art hits similar brain regions as real emotions. It's a safe simulation, a safe escape.
It really seems like the difficulties of life are the fuel for so much of this escape drive.
That's a key insight. When we face physical pain, the instinct is immediate. Seek relief. Escape the pain.
Emotional suffering.
Drives us to seek solace, comfort, connection. Escape the hurt.
A social injustice.
Ignites that desire for liberation, for escape from oppression.
Even just boredom.
Boredom is a surprisingly powerful motivator. It pushes us to seek novelty, engagement, and escape from monotony.
And we see this reflected in the specific ways people try to escape, right? The mechanism.
Absolutely. Things like drugs and alcohol offer that direct chemical escape, hitting those reward systems hard.
Sex.
It can be physical pleasure, connection, intimacy, an escape from loneliness or stress.
Breathe.
Often an attempt to escape feelings of scarcity, insecurity, maybe a fear of not having enough.
Lies.
Usually an escape from accountability, consequences, facing difficult truths.
But even something positive like pursuing truth.
You could frame that as an escape too. An escape from ignorance, from self-deception.
And life itself.
The drive to stay alive is the ultimate escape from non-existence, isn't it?
Wow.
Faith. An escape from doubt, from fear of the unknown, offering certainty or hope.
This is incredibly comprehensive. Okay, let's pivot a bit towards the future and AI's role. How can AI's understanding of us, of what we focus on, actually help us navigate these escape drives?
What's really potential-filled here is AI's ability to analyze just massive amounts of data about well-being.
To figure out what actually helps us feel better.
Yeah, and potentially optimize things. Our health routines, access to good food and water, even the design of our physical spaces.
Yeah.
All aimed at minimizing those negative internal states we talked about.
And helping with bigger life stuff.
Sure. AI could potentially personalize education, help with career guidance, financial planning, essentially offering tailored escape routes from limitations in those areas.
And you mentioned predictive escape.
Right. Using AI to spot potential future problems, health issues, financial hardship, maybe even social unrest, and helping us take steps to avoid them before they happen. Proactive escape.
So AI isn't just analyzing the past, it could actively help shape a future with fewer negative experiences.
That's the potential, yes. And if you think about human history, mastering fire, developing vaccines, going to space.
Collective escapes from limitations.
Exactly. You could see AI as the next powerful tool in that ongoing human project of escaping constraints.
How specifically, though, can AI improve our understanding of these deep drives, beyond just optimizing things for us?
Well, by crunching those huge data sets of human behavior, AI can spot subtle patterns, correlations we just never see on our own.
Okay.
You can build predictive models to better understand why and when people seek certain escapes, healthy or unhealthy.
And offer personalized advice.
Potentially, yes. Personalized insights into healthier coping mechanisms based on your specific profile, your circumstances, more tailored support.
It sounds like it could lead to a future where we're constantly fine-tuning for positive experiences. What are the big things we need to keep in mind as AI gets better at this?
Okay, yeah, crucial points. First, AI is a tool. Our own agency, our choices, they remain paramount. AI suggests we decide.
Right. It doesn't replace us.
Shouldn't, anyway. Second, the potential for manipulation is real. If AI understands our deepest escape desires, that knowledge could be exploited.
By companies, governments.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
We need safeguards. And third, and maybe most important, genuine human connection and purpose.
Things you can't just optimize for.
Exactly. They often come from navigating challenges together, from real relationships, not just from automated comfort and ease. We can't lose sight of that.
Who really benefits most from this deeper understanding right now? Both the AI side and the human side.
Well, currently, you could argue it's often those who control the AI tech that taps into these desires.
Yeah.
Think social media algorithms, entertainment platforms. They benefit from holding our attention, which is often a form of escape.
But ideally.
Ideally, the understanding benefits all of humanity. AI becomes a tool to foster healthier escapes, better well-being for everyone. That's the goal, anyway.
And it's so crucial to remember everyone's situation is different, isn't it? Culture, money, individual background, it all shapes this.
Hugely important. Cultural norms drastically affect what's considered an acceptable or desirable escape. Socioeconomic status dictates the options available, and our individual psychology plays a massive role. It's not one size fits all.
Which leads to a really deep question. Can AI, with all its analytical power, actually help us accept mortality, help us come to terms with death?
That's a profound one. AI can definitely process and present philosophical arguments, scientific perspectives on death. It can simulate outcomes of different belief systems, maybe even offer tools for grief support.
But acceptance itself.
Acceptance, that feels like such a deeply personal, emotional, perhaps even spiritual journey. Logic and information, which AI excels at, might only go so far. Can AI force acceptance? I doubt it. It can inform, support perhaps, but the internal shift is human.
Okay. Shifting tone drastically. What about cruelty? How does this escape framework help us understand something so dark, like inflicting pain on others?
It's a really disturbing distortion, isn't it? Cruelty often seems to stem from a desperate, deeply misguided attempt by the perpetrator to escape their own internal pain.
Escaping powerlessness, fear.
Powerlessness, humiliation, rage, maybe filtered through an ideology that promises some kind of escape or purification through violence. And crucially, a lack of empathy allows them to escape the moral weight, the emotional impact of their actions on the victim.
Can AI help there?
It's complex and sensitive, but potentially AI could help identify risk factors for violence, maybe assist in developing targeted interventions, but it's ethically fraught territory.
Imagine, hypothetically, an intelligent being with zero human empathy, zero emotion. What would their escapes look like?
Fascinating thought experiment. Their escapes would likely be purely utilitarian, functional, like a machine avoiding error states or optimizing performance, seeking efficient operation perhaps, rather than emotional relief, meaning, or transcendence. Very different.
So for us humans interacting with AI that does understand our drives, what beliefs do we need to hold about it?
I think fundamentally we need to believe or ensure that its development is genuinely benevolent, guided by strong ethics, that it's meant to complement our understanding and abilities, not override our agency. Trust is key.
Okay, think about something seemingly simple, like shared laughter. Why does one person find a joke hilarious and another just nothing? How would AI even analyze that?
That really shows the subjectivity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Laughter is often a release, right? A mini escape from tension. But what triggers that release depends massively on context, personal history, culture, current mood, how your brain processes it.
So AI could spot patterns.
Oh, yeah. AI could analyze vast amounts of data on what jokes land with which demographics under what conditions. It could predict resonance. But it can't feel the amusement. It analyzes the pattern, not the subjective experience.
So big picture, where is all this escaping leading us as a species?
Well, hopefully towards greater overall well-being, towards technological leaps that genuinely reduce suffering and enhance life, and maybe, just maybe, towards a deeper, more honest understanding of ourselves.
And why are we all in such different boats when it comes to this stuff? Our circumstances vary so wildly.
It's that complex mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
Genetics plays a part. Our upbringing, our environment, massive factors, the
Yeah.
culture we're embedded in, and of course the cumulative effect of our own choices over time.
What about intuition, that gut feeling we get? How does that compare to AI's understanding?
Human intuition. It feels like this rapid subconscious processing of vast amounts of lived experience, emotional data, subtle cues. AI's understanding is pattern recognition on a massive scale based on the data it's fed. It can mimic intuition, predict outcomes incredibly well sometimes, but it's a different process, doesn't have the gut part.
So when you boil it all down, is life just this endless cycle of seeking escape? Is that the reality?
I think life is richer and more complex than just that. But the pursuit of escaping pain, escaping limitations, seeking better states, it's undeniably a fundamental thread running through the whole tapestry. It drives so much. Coping, striving, searching for meaning. AI can be a tool to help us navigate that journey more effectively, perhaps more wisely.
And how specifically can AI help with our day-to-day coping strategies?
It could offer personalized assessments. What are you struggling with right now? Then, tailored recommendations for coping tools, based on what's worked for others like you or based on your own tracked data, making support more accessible via apps, chatbots, and tracking effectiveness over time. Is this strategy actually helping you feel better?
And underlying all this behavior, AI analyzes, it's like physical, right? Brain chemistry, environment.
Ultimately, yes. It comes down to neurobiology, the brain's wiring and chemistry. Biometrics like heart rate, even facial expressions, give physical clues to internal states. And our physical surroundings, light, noise, safety, nature access, profoundly impact our mental and emotional states, influencing what we feel the need to escape from.
It feels obvious, but if your life choices are limited, your escape options are too, right?
Absolutely critical point. Systemic disadvantages, poverty, discrimination, lack of access to education, healthcare, safe housing, they severely constrain the types of escapes available, often leaving only less healthy or even harmful options on the table. Privilege provides more constructive escape routes.
It's striking, isn't it, that we don't really teach kids about this explicitly, about healthy versus unhealthy escapes, understanding these drives. Why not?
That's a great question. Maybe several reasons. Perhaps a lack of self-awareness about these drives even in adults. Societal discomfort talking openly about mental health, addiction, negative feelings. Maybe education focuses too much on external success, not internal well-being. And honestly, it's complex stuff to teach simply.
Thinking about all this, it really does shift your perspective. What's the potential impact if we really understood this drive for escape individually and as a society?
Individually. Hopefully much greater self-awareness, more compassion for ourselves and why we do things, more empathy for others. Understanding their struggles might drive behaviors we find difficult.
And societally.
Potentially huge. Rethinking structures work. Education. Social safety nets to reduce the need for harmful escapes. Maybe identifying systemic issues that push people towards negative coping. It could lead to redefining what we mean by progress, focusing more on holistic well-being.
So looking forward, what are some concrete ways we could improve things, mitigate the negative sides of this escape drive?
Well, education and awareness are foundational. Just talking about this, understanding it better, empowers healthier choices. AI-assisted therapy offers huge potential for scalable, personalized support for people struggling, making help more accessible.
And the AI itself.
Crucial to have ethical design and strong regulation. Minimize the manipulation risk we talked about, ensure it serves human well-being.
And maybe changing the world around us.
Exactly. Redesigning environments, physical, social, economic, based on this understanding. Can we build communities, workplaces, systems that naturally promote well-being and reduce the stressors that trigger negative escapes in the first place? That feels like the ultimate goal.
This has been, wow, a really profound deep dive into something so core to being human.
It really is fundamental.
This drive to escape, this need to ease suffering, find better states. It's shaped everything about our history, and it's clearly going to keep shaping our future.
No doubt about it.
And understanding it, especially with the kind of insights AI might offer, it feels like it could genuinely help us find more fulfilling, more constructive paths forward.
I think so too. Which leads to a really vital question, maybe for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Just take a moment, maybe later today, and think about your own main escapes.
Yeah.
What are they? And honestly ask, are they truly serving your well-being in the long run? Are they adding richness to your life?
Or are they just temporary fixes, maybe even causing other problems?
Exactly. What might shift in your perspective now, having thought about all this?
That is a powerful thought to end on, something to really chew on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Thank you.
We really encourage you to keep exploring this, reflect on what it means for you, and for the world we're all navigating together.
This is DigitView.